Hello guys, welcome back to another chess video. This is Amit here, and today I'll be showing you all an interesting game played between Fischer and Purazao. So in this game, white goes with the king's pawn opening, and black responds with the Sicilian defense. So when we proceed with the game, we'll get to know what all and how black played. So let's begin with the game. So white plays e4, c5, nf3, d6, d4, cd4, knight e4, knight f6, knight c3, which is the standard Sicilian defense opening. And black goes for the dragon variation, which is with the move g6. g6 is quite solid for black, and once white castles on the queen side, there will be a lot of counter attack for black. So black and white both have an attacks on each side. So here black goes bishop g7, f3, and c6, and queen d2. Queen d2. Now the plan is to castle on the queen side. Here even white can even castle on the king side, but it is preferred for an attacking player to castle on the queen side, so that both gets an attack. So here white goes bishop c4 in order to prevent the pawn from moving to d5. So black simply counters the queen side castle, immediate castle, with the move d5. And let's say white castles on the queen side, then black simply goes d5. Now pawn captures, knight captures, and there will be not much attack from white side, and f3 pawn is kind of misplaced here, because usually the pawns are good defenders when they are at their home position. So here the pawn has moved one square to the front, and it is not doing much of a role on the f3 square. So in order to prevent the immediate move of d5, so white counters with bishop c4 and knight d7, castle, knight b6, attacking the light square bishop, and black goes knight a5. Now the plan might be to either to capture the bishop on the b3 square, or play the move knight ac4, eyeing the b2 square. So one thing we need to know is that once you see the bishop, this bishop on this long diagonal, so once you see that bishop on the long diagonal, you need to be alert of a sacrifice with the move knight c4 and knight b2, sacrificing the black knight. So rook comes to c8, and this knight will be pressured. So that is one thing you need to be aware of. So in this position, white played queen d3, and in order to prevent the immediate move of knight a4, he played the move queen to d3, h4, and rook c8, h5. Now white proceeds ahead. Since black doesn't go h5, white proceeds ahead with the move h5 himself, and then black gets in the knight. As I told you earlier, the plan will be to sacrifice the knight on b2, and here white captures the pawn on the g6, h6, bishop h6. So bishop h6 is eyeing exchanging of the strong dark square bishop on the g7 square. So this bishop is vital for black's improvement. Once such a position occurs, his bishop on the g7 will be very strong in this kind of setup, and he will be eyeing this whole diagonal. So that is why white prefers to exchange of that strong bishop, and now black goes e6. So and white moves ahead with plan of f4, and the plan is to switch his queen over to h3 and threaten a mating attack on the black's king. So here comes the first mistake of the game, which is a move e5. So with e5 move, black is actually vacating this vacating the guarded square f5 square, and he is simply giving it up for the white to proceed with the attack. So here white goes knight f5. So let's say black captures the knight with the pawn on the g6. So here the attack will be now immediately bishop capture on the g7 square. Now if king captures the bishop, then queen comes to g3 and king comes to f6, queen to g5 and king to e6 and pawn captures pawn, and it is a checkmate. So this was seen by Purazov, and he immediately responds with the move bishop captures the knight. So once bishop captures the knight, then pawn captures, then knight captures the pawn on the b2. As I told you earlier, the bishop, once you have the g7 to a1 diagonal bishop, the main attack will be on the b2 square. So that you have to be aware of when playing these kinds of opening. And now white captures the knight and black pushes the pawn to e4. So while playing the move, black already had in mind this particular attack, and he thought maybe he's having an advantage. But here you can pause the video in order to find the best response by white. Yeah, the best response for white is capturing the bishop on the g7. Now if pawn captures the queen, then immediately a brilliant move will be played, which is a move f6, and there is no stopping the mate on the h8 square. Even if the queen captures a pawn on the f6, bishop captures f6, and it is a mate on the next move. So after playing this move, black realized that he is in trouble, and he captured the bishop with the king, and knight captures the pawn. And here at this moment, the Purazov actually resigned the game against Fischer. So in this position, white is simply a pawn up, and black doesn't have any counterplay to play. So and it is as good as reasonable. So at this point, Purazov resigned the game. So one thing we get to know from this game is that black should be aware of the pawn pushes, like the pawn push on the e5 square in this position. So in this position the pawn push on the e5 square, and also here after pawn push on the e5 square, it was actually game over. And here another blunder, which was the move knight b2. So the idea was the bishop on the long diagonal, and black did not calculate the whole variation. So it was actually quite a good game and instructive, which we need to be aware of. So at this position, at the end point, this position, white was simply a piece up and black resigned the game. So hope you like this video. If you like this video and want many more such videos, do subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching.